This week I am taping from my sister and brother-in-law's backyard. We have been living here for a little over a week now. My sister's household is very boy heavy. She of course has her husband Kyle, and they have 4 boys ranging from the ages of 17 down to 10, and then they also have 5 male cats. So the chickens, I think, help to balance things a little bit. She has 10 hens, and as you can hear and see, they are going to be joining me for the video this week. I'm not really sure if taping in front of live animals was my best decision, but I guess we will find out. Oh, got her. A week isn't a tremendously long amount of time to really know how things are going to go, but I would also argue that the first week is probably the hardest just because there's that period of settling in and unpacking and figuring out where things are at and how you're going to use the space and how you're going to combine households. And honestly, from my perspective at least, the first week has gone better than expected. It's gone really well. What's up guys, I'm Whitney Bousman. Welcome to my crib. As you can see back here, Jonathan has his Lego background. Ashley has 4 boys, and so there's a Lego collection from over the years. But he has a nice little office set up back here. He set it up back in the corner so that we're not constantly walking behind him. This is our favorite area right here because we have a resident Harry Potter. Oh my goodness. So she's probably been holding that pose for like 3 solid minutes. Annie's single mattress fits perfectly in this little nook. And so that is her haven. Over here, we have our little cooking nook. It's really funny because moving in here, my original plan was like, don't bother my sister at all, never use her kitchen. I packed our air fryer and cooking utensils and plates and bowls and everything, and we're already kind of past that point. We do have a mini fridge and we do have a coffee maker. Arlo is showing you where the magic happens. Our queen mattress fits here perfectly. We have been sleeping comfortably. I know it took Jonathan a couple of nights to settle in sleep-wise, but I think we're all doing pretty good from that perspective. This is Clark's little bedroom area. He has always been an early riser. He's kind of our rooster, and so he's up when we're up anyway. He's usually up before we're up, honestly, and reading a book or something, but it's worked well for him. Our second oldest nephew that lives here, Landon, he has his gym set up back here. Jonathan has also been pumping some iron from time to time down here, so coming in handy. This miscellaneous area back here is Annie's little craft nook. She's got all sorts of clay and goodies going on back there. 2 more spaces, believe it or not. Arlo discovered the storage closet, so if you see that cold concrete floor right there, that is his favorite spot when he is not sleeping on our bed. Last but not least, the bathroom tour. So as you'll see, this is a half bath. Hi buddy. Arlo wants to go into his cave.
Are you happy now, buddy?
Yep, stay nice and cool back here. It's going well. And the best part of living here is the outside. So come on with me.
Oh my gosh. Really embracing this cribs.
It's because I'm meant for cribs. Arlo, are you coming? I'm not exaggerating. Jonathan can even attest this. I bet you at least 50% of the time there are deer back here. So it's been cool to kind of get Arlo used to some wildlife and some farm animals. That's a good boy.
You're being a good boy, buddy. You're being a good boy. Yes, you are.
My sisters and I feel like have always gotten along very well. I am the baby of the family. My oldest sister is, I think, like 8-ish years older than me, and then Ashley is about 5 years older than me. So because of that age gap, they sort of always felt like little mother hens, no pun intended, to me because I was so much younger than them. My sisters have always been good to me.
Sonny, you can do the tour of the siding.
You're doing the tour of the siding. You burnt the siding.
Oh my gosh.
And for the last part of the tour of our crib, Jonathan's gonna show you what happened on the first night that we were here, which I find very entertaining, given that I would consider us responsible people with common sense.
Yes, it was a dumb mistake. The siding was already slightly warped. I'm going to say that. I just made it a lot worse. I grilled and then later found that the siding needs to be replaced now. So that's a project we'll
But thanks to Arlo and his love of the storage room, what did we discover?
There is siding downstairs. Perfect.
My goal throughout this temporary situation and living with my sister and her family is that I'm not adding to their stress. I want to be a help and not a burden. I want to be mindful of the fact that they have their own lives and we do too. Right now, as summer has just begun, it has been pretty carefree and I feel like we are jiving well and our families are blending well, but it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds when maybe stress levels are a little bit different in a couple of weeks. So you'll have to stick around and see if we're driving each other crazy. That's all to be determined. Uncle JB has to make up for melting the house. So,
Come on.
so he's fixing the shelf that's falling out of the wall.
There. You got it? Yeah. Okay, so then.
Clark and Annie overall have been doing very well with the transition. For Clark, this is like a fun bonus time with his cousins that he never has had before. He's kind of in his glory here. Got the kiddos on the trampoline, fireflies, kids riding down the hill on a dirt bike. What summers are made of. It's been a little tougher for Annie just because, as I said, it is heavy on testosterone in my sister's house. She's adjusting. There have been some tears. Jonathan and I have made it a point to make her feel seen and valued and acknowledged here. We have been giving her responsibilities with my sister's pets, coming out and, helping my sister take care of the chickens or get the eggs each morning because Annie is an animal lover through and through, and you can see the joy that my sister's animals give her. She has been torturing the cats a little bit, but thankfully Ashley and Kyle have Himalayans. The breed as a whole, they tend to be very docile and friendly, and they kind of just let you do whatever you want to do with them. She treats them like stuffed animals or baby dolls and just carries them around and dances with them and sings to them and does all of her stuff. And they are very, very tolerant of her. We're proud of both of our kids for their resiliency and their ability just to kind of go with the flow and adapt. It's not easy to be uprooted from a school that you love and a neighborhood that you love and a house that you love and friends that you love. And certainly it hasn't been all rainbows and roses since we've moved in. There have been some little growing pains, but they really and truly are doing a really, really good job, and we couldn't ask more of them. So this little girl has free reign over Aunt Ash's craft supplies. Aunt Ash is definitely more of the slime expert, but Mommy is pretty darn pleased with our first attempt here. The basement space itself is working a lot better than I could have anticipated. My sister's basement is big and spacious, and it does kind of give us little areas, little functional areas for which to use as bedrooms and an office space and things like that.
Here's a typical morning after I get up and everyone else is still sleeping.
Arlo has been a champion. For as nervous as he was when we first moved in, I think now that he understands that this is just something new for all of us to do together and it's not that we were just going to drop him off here or leave him, he really has adjusted well. he's just really loving life here with more land. And I see a little bit more of that freedom in him here with 2 acres to sprawl out on versus the 1/4 of an acre that we had at our old house. He was a little bit curious with the chickens at first, and he would run out and kind of get them frazzled a little bit, but they are adjusting well to him and he is adjusting well to them, and he's doing great. The neighboring property to my sister is a field of probably, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 acres. At least 50% of the time that we're outside, there are numerous deer out here. It's really cool, and it's also interesting to see Arlo's progress with that, because the first time that we came out here and he saw the deer, he was barking and running and trying to get to them, and now it's kind of like they just coexist.
Did you see the deer up there?
Of course, it's an adjustment to go from a 2,000 square foot house to a basement that essentially isn't even quite a studio apartment, just because there isn't a full bathroom or a functional kitchen. But for as much of a change as that is when you have a family and a large dog, I think we're all taking it in stride.
You ever had a beef on a s'more? You've never lived.
Yeah. I don't know about that. Oh boy, this looks official. It really has been a smooth transition, and one that is bringing me joy. Although there are things that I miss about my old home and my old neighborhood, I have never felt more sure about anything I've done in my life. I don't feel regrets, and I don't feel remorse, and I don't feel like we have made any decisions that I wouldn't make 100 times over for the good of my family and the future of my family. I've said it before and I'll say it again, but my kids really and truly are their best selves when they are outside and exploring and learning right alongside Jonathan and I, and that is what a new property is going to give to us. We don't pretend to know everything or even anything. We don't really know squat when it comes to maintaining a large lot or much at all when it comes to gardening. We have never had farm animals before. Even the world of chickens is new to us, and I'm learning things from Ashley and Kyle all of the time. We're not going into this acting like know-it-alls or assuming that things are going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be expensive and probably very time-consuming and stressful in the beginning to get all of those things established. For all of the work that lies ahead, there also comes a sense of accomplishing things together as a family and just learning. I think that's what I'm most looking forward to in this new adventure, is figuring it out as we do it. So yeah, it has been very good so far. There isn't a sense of panic or urgency to settle on something and find our next place. Yes, of course, we're still looking, but we also don't feel like we need to jump on whatever presents itself first because our living situation isn't working out. So far, it has been working very, very well. I'm so thankful that I have family who is willing to lose access to an entire floor of their home while we're staying with them, to let my big, hairy, slobbery dog take over their basement. Thank you, Ashley and Kyle, for letting us take over your home and be your tenants for an unknown period of time. There are some properties on the horizon, and I'm not gonna give anything away, but I would suggest that you tune in next week because I have a feeling there may be some updates for you. I'm not sure which way those updates are gonna go at the moment, but tune in next week and we might have some news for you. So without being annoying and needy sounding, this is our 13th video, and 13 for some people is considered a very unlucky number, but I want to flip that on its head and make it a lucky one. Here at Follow the Whisper, we continue to grow slowly and surely in subscribers, so I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you so much to everybody who is tuning in every week. I am feeling more confident behind and in front of the camera. I am finally just owning the fact that I don't have to have a showy and a flowery and a glamorous life to have a story that people are interested in hearing and listening to. Thank you so much for being a part of this family, for continuing to invest in our story and our future. I'm not sure how familiar all of you are with the ins and outs of YouTube, but to help us the most, to support us, to help us grow, the things that we need most are subscribers, likes, and comments. So if you are already subscribing, we really, really appreciate it. Another thing that you can do each week is just give us a thumbs up, click on that like button. The more likes we have, the more visibility our videos get. And then if there's something that you would like to comment on, go ahead and comment, even if it's just to say hi, or if it's something that you maybe liked seeing in the video, if it's something that you didn't care for as much, if it's a question that you have for us moving forward. All of those things are helpful for us in growing and continuing to put out videos every week. I know how precious time is, and especially for those of you with jobs and families and responsibilities of your own, taking 10 to 20 minutes every weekend to sit down and get caught up on our lives really means a lot. Thank you so much for being here, and we will see you next week. I don't know if you heard that, but that was a hawk who is currently watching all of the chickens very intently and making sure that I don't allow any of them to free range.